Yeah, 30 something. Yeah, I didn't know that. It's like decimal. So.
Are you relieved at getting the standard?
Yeah, I mean, I'll be the first to admit that I think the 832 is pretty soft for the steeplechase standard, but yeah, when it's kind of late out for you like that, like knowing what exactly you have to do, it's easy in some ways, but it's a little stressful in other ways because you know you got to go out there and do it, and you're trying to make it feel as relaxed as possible. But sometimes in a distance event, when you are a little bit too relaxed, you start missing splits, and then once you start missing splits, you start getting a little bit more stressed, and it's kind of one of those things where it's like the more you squeeze it, the more it slips away, kind of thing. So going in, we just knew, try to put in a good kind of hard first 2 or 3 laps and get yourself under the pace, and then, expect for it to hurt a little bit. And the last 3 laps, I knew I was going to be pretty close, and then crossing with a lap to go, seeing 7:30 or 7:20, I was like, all right, I need to run pretty quickly in the last lap to get it. But getting under the time, very relieving, and now I can just not have to stress about hitting a standard and going and trying to chase the time before the window ends. And now I can just get back to training and doing what I love to do and get ready for Worlds.
Was that was your first race since Rio?
Yes, first steeple since Rio. So for those of you who don't know, I ran into a fire hydrant on a training round in Portland where I live and train in March. And that was right at the end of the indoor season, and I basically couldn't run. I was running off and on, and definitely no workouts for almost 2 months. It was just one of those things where I hit it initially, and I didn't think it was that serious, and I just kind of ran through it for a couple of days, and it just continued to get worse and worse and worse through that first week that I hit it. And we just thought, take 4 or 5 days off and then see how it feels, and that's what I did, and didn't get better. And I went up to Victoria to see the Team Athletics Canada doctors, and they couldn't quite figure it out. So after about 6 weeks, we did an MRI, and the results weren't good. It just showed a lot of inflammation, scar tissue, damage to the knee. So I took a cortisone shot in the first week of May, and then about 10 days after that I was able to start running again. So I've only had 6 weeks of training, but training's been going really well, and we knew that I could run the standard just off strength work, not having done any steeple workouts, because we knew there wasn't any point in making the team if I couldn't go back and do the strength work that I missed. So I just did a lot of tempo running, fartleks, long runs, and pretty much no steeple work. It was just try to get as strong as possible before the national championships, and if I was able to hit the standard, then we could start doing the specific work and the steeple and speed work that I need to do to get a lot sharper for the championship.
So were you daydreaming?
No, it was so stupid. It was just like we were just on a training run, and I trained with about 10, 12 other guys. Most of them are American guys, and I was just in the back of the pack, just on a normal training run, and I just wasn't looking, and I just ran right into it. So.
Did you fall pretty hard?
No, I just actually I kind of just hit it and I stopped because I saw it in my peripheral vision. So I didn't feel like I hit it that hard, and I actually finished the run. We had a 2-hour run that day, and it was right at the beginning. And I finished the run. I didn't think it was that bad, and then the next day I woke up and it was just ballooned up. So.
Have you ever had a bad crash like that?
No, that was kind of the first time, and no, it was. Luckily, I have a lot of good support staff at both Athletics Canada up in Victoria, where I went and made a couple trips to see the doctors and physios, and with Bowerman Track Club, we have a lot of good physios and chiropractors. So, luckily, I have a lot of good support staff, and my family was, there's days where I just woke up and I couldn't barely walk or run and do anything. So. Like I was saying, just a mental struggle, and luckily I have a lot of good people and friends and family helping me through it.
Was it an actual injury diagnosed?
Yeah, it was basically a semi-torn, well not torn, but my patellar tendon, basically a pretty large contusion in that. And then it moved to my lateral side of my knee, where basically your IT band attaches to the side of your knee, and every time you bend your knee, it pops over a bone. So basically, the running motion was the worst thing for it, so I couldn't do anything where I bend my knee for 6 weeks. So it wasn't anything that it was a torn MCL or anything like that. It was just really bad inflammation that wouldn't heal.
Have you run by that hydrant since?
Pardon me?
Have you run by that hydrant since?
Yeah, I give it a love tap every time I go by, make sure I don't hit it.
Whereabouts is the Canadian record on your radar right now?
Yeah, it's right up there. I think, like I was saying, I think I've been workouts the last 2-3 years have indicated that I can run a lot faster than the Canadian record. So it's definitely my goal, and I think I'd be disappointed if by the end of the season I don't break it. Whether that's at Worlds or a Diamond League event after Worlds, I'm definitely on my radar this year, and I know that I have to bring that Canadian record down to 8:0 something if I'm going to be competitive with the Kenyans. So, it's not all about beating the Kenyans, but once you get in that 8:0 range, anything can happen at a major championship.
Thank you.
Yeah.